UFC sports. It's in the game.
In that title mix is Beneil Dariush. I just want to ask you what you thought about his performance tonight, kind of where he stands. He's kind of been on the outside looking in, but he's got a heck of a run going on now.
Yeah, listen, he went in and he didn't do anything. He didn't do any favors in gaining any new fans tonight, but, it was tough. A tough go against a fan favorite like Tony. He went in, did what he had to do to win, and he'll get another fight now. One of the top 5 guys.
Last thing for me, I did want to ask you about Tony Ferguson, man. We saw the love for him in the building tonight, man. Super fan favorite, but obviously, lost all 3 rounds. Have you talked to him, and where do you think he stands in his career? Because I think a lot of people are questioning kind of, what does he have left?
Yeah, I hear you, and, he had a tough 3 rounds. He couldn't stop the takedown. He couldn't get up from underneath Dario.
Huddy! Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the team.
Yeah,
I'll be right with you, Huddy. I will give you your due.
We'll see what
in
happens.
just a minute, my
just
man.
going off of that, I think Tony has landed something like 30 strikes in the last 30 minutes he's been in the octagon, which obviously not a very good sign for a fight.
What has he had?
He's landed 30 strikes in 30 minutes, so obviously not a great output. Do you think this is a case of where that fight with Gaethje just sort of maybe started to wind down his career?
Yeah, it could be that. It could be just, time gets us all. So it's one of those things. I don't know which one or both, but unfortunately, it's definitely hit Tony.
Yeah, I know you don't do this stuff on the night of the fight, but do you maybe start thinking like, well, look, he's looked so sort of uninspiring that maybe we should start looking at having that conversation with him, or do you let him make that decision still at this point?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even thought about it.
My friends, Huddy, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to your team. We had one heck of a UFC card last night. Immediately after the UFC card, Huddy, we did play Outlast for a couple of dozen minutes. It was a challenge for me I wasn't feeling scared. I was just feeling not engaged at that time of night and we had low attendance. But Huddy is pointing out the fact that he called the fights correct. So Huddy, remind me, who did you have, because I want to hear your calls again. Who you called out, which round, everything else like that. Because for me, I was wrong about the Vivian. I thought Caitlyn lost that fight. So I was wrong about the Vivian fight in the main event. The rest I got right. But those are 2 pretty significant ones to miss, I suppose. So remember, I said Charles would KO. That's exactly right. Oh my God, Huddy. I remember that specific conversation. I remember you telling me. I said, what are you talking about? And yes, I did say it was unlikely. And it goes to show how much I know, how good I am at predicting the future. I am just awful in some cases. I mean, I got some of the other fights right, but that was a huge miss. I thought there's no way Charles Oliveira has the hands to fight a Michael Chandler. And it was interesting how he kind of handled his business. He went out there and he took this Muay Thai stance right away. It was perfect. It went to show it worked. I mean, it didn't work out in the first round. The second round, it was super effective. Michael Chandler, the size difference. All about you, blah, blah, blah. Oh my goodness. What is up, Marshall? Ed 20, welcome to the stream. Welcome to your team. My guys, I appreciate each and every one of you being here, coming in for some post-UFC analysis. Ed 20 says, Coach, you didn't tell me you're streaming, you catfish. I tweet out. I guess I got to find out other ways to notify, I suppose. Maybe if I can set up YouTube to send out a notification pre-stream. That might be good too. And I think that's what I see. I want to do. I should probably look into that, because Twitter's kind of a narrow. I don't have that many followers, and it's kind of a narrow focus. If you happen to be looking at the words that are anchored in there. But welcome back, everybody. So when's the Huddy? We did the Outlast stream last night. It almost nobody came, and I didn't make it very far into the game. I would I think it was the timing of the Outlast stream. It was just awful. Chandler, I was partying that win, coach. You got to redo it. We'll throw another one. I'm not against it, Huddy. I'm open to trying anything. I think trying different things works out. You just got to try it. So I like I said, Steve-O! Welcome back to the stream. Welcome to your team, my guy. Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Marshall, a.k.a. Blah Blah, says, Chandler came into the second overconfident and Oliveira came out composed. Steve-O says, Chandler threw my money. Chandler took his money. Took Steve-O's money. Jorge Masvidal took Ocho Cinco's money. These fighters are out here just taking money and just throwing it. I mean, it's so fun. It's crazy. That's why I can't bet on fights. You see how wrong. By the way, now we have more people in here. I want to re-acknowledge the fact that Huddy called this fight, which I find impressive. I didn't hear almost anybody saying Oliveira by knockout. I didn't hear it. I mean, if you found somebody that was saying Oliveira's going to knock out Michael Chandler, Huddy was the only person I can think of. Because that's a lot. If that fight happened again, I would have to bet against the fact that Charles Oliveira knocks out Michael Chandler. Unless something's changing, Michael Chandler is getting up there. And he's an old 34. He's been, Huddy says Bellator is low on the totem pole. And it is, but, he's still 34 and he's been through a lot. Whether he was in Bellator or wherever else he's been competing. But I was blown away by that. Tony at 20 says, Tony's done, man. So many OGs getting dusted this year. Yeah, it's weird. Watching the change of the guard is interesting. And I'm older, like I said. I've seen it happen one time that I feel like a major shift happened in my MMA fandom. And that was that, 2008 era light heavyweight fighter. That's really where I saw noticed a wave of guys like Rampage, Machida. I mean, you might even throw Chuck Liddell into that a little bit, the very oldest that would have been Chuck Liddell. Vanderlei, all of those guys. A wave of them. Henderson. Fedor was in that group, but he survived it. But the wave of those guys just went out, and it was crazy to watch guys like John Jones just tear through almost everybody I named. Heidi says he'd like to see Chandler versus Gaethje. I would love to see Chandler versus Gaethje. Oliveira's hands were on point, and the way he flowed between kickboxing to clinch striking to ground and pound was really world class. Yeah, man. Oliveira did himself a lot of favors with this win. With this win, he's going to change. Look at what Blah Blah just wrote. The perspective, the perception of Charles Oliveira is going to change. With that type of win, we're going to see him differently. Those 8 wins that he has in a row right now 9, are so much more significant. He beat 9 men at lightweight. After having such a challenging career, missing weight as well documented and reported missing weight and kind of losing fights, jumping between featherweight and lightweight. It's insane to watch this guy come into who he is. And now I'm learning at least about the story of him being in these favelas and supporting an entire community of people. It's wild. I'm rooting for you, my guy, Charles Oliveira. Ed says, surely when Weidman beats Anderson, because Rockhold, Bisping, Romero, and Rob came through. Yes, that was absolutely Anderson would have been in that wave, that 2008 wave, yes. And Weidman was part of the new generation. Uriah Hall was in that new generation. And now those are the old guys. So I'm now watching the second, I feel like, second huge wave where I was really paying attention to the sport. I know this had to have happened prior to this, but that's when I was super, super, super engaged. So here we go. Terror Turner, excuse me. Getting in with Terror Turner. Huddy says, did I see your Kamzat edit? Not yet. If you could DM, I usually see your tweets. I did not see the Kamzat edit. But Huddy, did you see the static between Kamzat and Khabib? Kamzat seems he's made a couple now in close, almost in succession, social media blunders. His second one, the first one was saying Neil Magny was running away from him. The second one, it's your pinned tweet. I'll check it out, man. The second one is calling out Khabib, saying he could smash Khabib after, having this great relationship with them and training with his team. Man. Kamzat says he'll smash everybody. And he said that live. He wasn't being personal with Khabib. Yeah, I hope not. Both of Huddy's faves beefing with each other. Huddy got to be pulling. Oh. Got to be pulling his hair out. Yeah. Yeah, no, when you see... And I thought, Kamzat could say that, but Khabib took that very seriously. You can tell by his response. Khabib took what Kamzat said, and his team took what he said very seriously. Khabib's team is a bunch of gangsters. Those guys don't play around. There's nothing nice about those guys. If you get on the wrong side. Man, this is crazy. This guy has gotten a lot better. Oh. Kamzat is a gangster too, but yes, they're two of my favorites. Alright, let's get some water here. I lost that first round. Huddy says, big drama show. It is what it is, as Max would say. Yeah, no, I agree. It's a lot of drama, but it is interesting. I think it gives some insight into the personality of Ed, of Kamzat. And Ed, never apologize for not making the stream, my guy. It's 6 in the morning. What are you supposed to do? You even said you weren't going to be there. And it was a late stream. It was just something to do. I'm glad we did it. I had fun. Played some Mortal Kombat afterwards. I feel like I haven't played this game in a minute. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've stopped a transition. Yeah, it was just timing bad with my homies. I want to see Outlast. Yeah, no problem. Coach, write the fatalities down so you don't forget. You messed up. You messed up one too many. I know, I got to do it. I have them up on the screen. You're so right. I got to do that. I got to just have them up on my laptop. I'm going to set up my laptop so I can see the chat and the fatalities right there. That's what I'm going to do. and use the tools I've got. Coach always got baby finishes. Hey, I hit some fatality. I've been getting better at them, but no, you're right. I missed a lot. You heard about Paddy Pimblett. He's a 45er prospect from the UK. Great grappler. Of course I've heard of Paddy by now. I'm not saying I'm a Paddy Pimblett expert, but after he crashed the American airwaves, of course, with that interview with Ariel Helwani, and I did see highlights. I think he was in Cage Warriors. I have seen highlights of him before. I've seen him, like, here and there. He does seem incredible as far as grappling goes, as far as we've seen so far. I want to see him in the UFC. Giga versus Paddy. I think I want to see Giga versus anybody. Am I the only guy? I feel like I'm on this. I'm on this Giga hype train, and the hype train isn't very large. But I feel like Giga's special. He looks special. That guy doesn't. Just like you just watch Anderson when you're not used to seeing. There's just some guys that can just see stuff a little bit slower. They just see the strikes coming. They just look insane. Giga versus Barbosa, another one. Huddy, what happened to Tokyo? Changed the name again. Yeah, Ed. I would really like to know. I'd want to sit down and break down why Huddy feels so inclined. I know he says he just likes change, but I want to know more about that desire for change. The delayed reaction was scary from Shane Burgos. Sometimes that's worse than getting starts. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Yanez. Yes, I was trying to think of the name Adrian Yanez. That's who I feel like is another guy that is like Giga. He is insane. He's in the Matrix as well. Steve-O says, I'm waiting for Dennis to pull up. Yeah, man. Dennis Poor comes in here, and believe me, we're going to be talking about red pasta, pork chops, and playing Mortal Kombat soon enough. But shout out to Dennis Poor. Huddy says, Adrian has retweeted me multiple times. That's awesome, Huddy. He seems to like to interact with the fans. Dennis always that guy that retracts his comments for some reason. Yes. Dennis is very interesting. Yes, he always retracts his comments. Always very positive. Dennis retracts every message he does. And I'm like, Dennis, we could just rewind. I mean, you could just rewind the chat, right? But shout out to him. Shout out to him. I do like that. I like the differences. I like what Dennis adds to the stream. It is. I don't know why that's funny to me. I don't know why. Some of his comments, I'll be talking. We're talking MMA, and I look down and it's like, Coach, red spaghetti sauce pasta. Shout out to Florida. He definitely keeps things interesting, yeah. He does. Coach definitely washes his hands after shower. You know it. You've, blah blah wouldn't believe you that I do that, but you gotta wash your hands after a hard shower. You've been, handling all sorts of business in that shower. Gotta keep things sterile. Just joking, of course. I don't even know where that came from. Ooh. That was an EA glitch. That transition was a fake, and I couldn't fake it. Forced the transition to move forward. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Shout out to the 3 people that gave me a like. Thank you so much. Gave the stream a like, not me. Gave this stream a like. Woo! Barely blocked that one. He wants to stand up. Here we go. Dude, really walk around, eat with poop hands. You know, yeah. But just think about it. I mean, you're acclimated to eat a certain amount of that. It won't kill you. Your body can withstand that for a reason. Woo! That was crazy. So I have to wash my hands after every time I'm in the bathroom or I feel disgusting. A lot, yeah. Or if you touch a sticky surface or something like that. Dudes really walk around poop pants. Ed 20 says, if Tony versus Beneil was underwhelming, Beneil will win the Ultimate Hugging Championship, not the Ultimate Fighting Championship. What are you trying to say, Coach Poopy Hands? Oh, no. I kind of understand what you're saying there, Ed, but here's the thing. That's part of what Beneil's problem was. That's why Beneil hasn't been put in the championship position quite yet, because he has a couple of fights that look like that, right? So it's not, unlike Beneil to have that type of performance that's in his skill set, and it'd be kind of dumb of him to not do that. Tony just lost 6 rounds prior to that one, or 8 rounds or whatever it was prior to last night via grappling and getting crushed, on the feet. Dariush almost finished Tony. Y'all are mad. Yeah, oh yeah, he did. I'm sorry, I totally forgot about that. The knee bar almost finished Dariush off. But what I'm trying to say is we've seen Tony getting crushed in multiple fights, both on the feet and on the ground. The on the feet version of that fight looked way more dangerous. It looked way more painful, for Justin. Even though Justin clearly won the fight, it was a battle. It would make no sense for Dariush to try to do what Justin did. His route was to go to the ground, and that's why I did predict Beneil by decision. I did not think he was going to stand and trade with Tony Ferguson. That's the one way that Tony was going to win that fight. Aside from that, and Huddy says he's just saying Beneil's boring. I disagree. I think Beneil is exciting to watch. I will watch a Beneil Dariush fight. Matt isn't crazy. Oliveira did the same thing, Huddy. Steve-O says he feels for Tony. I do too. Oh no, Brian Redband. Brian Redband. Shout out to Brian Redband. I told him, and Steve-O says he feels bad for Tony. I do too, man. I want Tony to win. I hope what I'm saying doesn't come off as callous. But it's just the reality. And I do owe, as I gave Huddy his props for calling the knockout, I told Brian Redband that if he came into the stream, I would be here. And I will fess up to me being wrong. I was chest out confident that Chandler was going to win that fight, or Oliveira wasn't going to get knocked out, or wasn't going to knock out Chandler, and that Chandler was going to win the fight, period. I thought he was going to win by KO, finishing the fight, TKO by the third. And Brian Redband completely knew what was going to happen. So shout out to Huddy and Brian Redband for being right. I'll man up and admit it. I think Brian Redband may have put something in Michael Chandler's pre-fight water or something to make things happen his way, but we won't get too deep into that conspiracy. Shout out to everybody in the stream. Wow, thank you for popping in. We got 8 people all of a sudden. I am honored to have you here with me. If you hadn't had a chance to subscribe, hit that subscribe, hit that notification, and most importantly, subscribe, like, and most importantly, hit those notifications. Brian Redband says if Keith Peterson were the referee, maybe he would have stopped it early and Chandler would have won. Shout out to Keith Peterson. I love Keith Peterson. He's a great ref. But I don't think there is a one point in that first round where if the fight were stopped, it may have been controversial, but it would have been understandable. Brian Redband, I was thinking that. I think Keith Peterson, surprisingly, for the most part, does a good job. He's got, and Huddy says Keith Peterson sucks. I think he's just got some glaring mess ups. Like he's messed up on the big stage a couple of times, but most of the time, you don't even notice Keith Peterson's the referee, and that's how you want it. Brian Redband says he was rotting from Dom, or probably laughing about Dom. ASD! Welcome to the stream. Welcome to your team, my man. We're just having some post-UFC 262 talk right now, talking about Keith Peterson. If he were the ref, would they have stopped the fight would he have stopped the fight early? We would have had Chandler as champ. Ref was fair in that one. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, blah, blah. The ref was good. The ref came out, did his thing. That was excellent refereeing. It was a little weird that the one ref was in there for like 2 fights in a row. He did multiple fights. It was kind of a strange situation. And the mouth guard situation in the 3rd fight to final was really bizarre. Tom Kirky, welcome back to the stream. Welcome to your team, my guy. I appreciate you so much for showing up. We are getting back into ranked. It's been a long time since I've been playing. We're talking UFC 262 and trying to weasel out a win on this guy who really put in some work on me. Ed 20 says my bet got ruined when Antonia lost. Yeah, she couldn't tag She shouldn't tag Valentina. Yeah, that was a bad victory. Steve-O says Chandler can bounce back. He's just getting old compared to these guys. Yeah, he can bounce back, but Steve-O, I know you're joking a little bit, but I think you're right. Honestly, he's taken some. Dude's been in some wars. He's kind of old school. You know, like, nobody. We've never seen a guy that's defied time in MMA. They don't exist. Even Hendo had the help of science to go into his 40s. Rest assured, so did Randy Couture. No way Randy Couture was 48, heavyweight champion who wasn't juiced to the gills. So Brian Redman says if Herb Dean reffed Oliveira, would still be punching Chandler. I'm just kidding. But hey, Herb Dean also got tagged for some bad ones. I want Herb Dean in there when there are big moments. I want Herb Dean right there. I still give him props for being the best maybe in the game. Maybe there's another one that I'm just not thinking of, but I trust Herb Dean. Let me get some water here. At 20 says, had the help of science. That's a euphemism for taking juice. That's right. Woo! Wait, did I win that? It's a wrap! Yes, I came back. I was losing that fight and I came back. I wasn't. Bontarian did not look like he'd be competitive with top 5 at bantamweight, in my opinion. Blah, blah. I think he took that fight late notice. I think he took that fight at late notice because I did recognize him after I saw him fighting, and he didn't look to be, and they pointed it out even, that he wasn't in the shape that he was in his prior fight. I think we have to see. That fight wasn't indicative. Ed 20's pointing out another decision. Hey, Ed, I'm at least winning. I'm trying to get back on the knockout trip. I'm trying to bring it out for you, my guy. ASDAE says, at one moment in the main event, Charles was almost out and he looked like he didn't want to continue. Then suddenly he laid on his back to recover. Yes, he definitely did, ASD. That's why I said there's one point in that fight where if the ref would have stopped it, it would have been controversial, but not the worst thing in the world. Bontarian, and thanks for the correct spelling of that name because I didn't have it. Took it on short notice and wasn't in camp shape. No, he was at 165 pounds. It was a terrible cut for him, and he still went. I mean, that's insane. A guy was out of shape and still had the capability, cut all that weight, and was still able to make a decision in a fight. You know, most of us, unless you've been training to fight, wouldn't one round and you'd be dead. I mean, I would say 3 minutes of fighting for most people is a very long time to be actively fighting. That's a long time. But for 15 minutes, short, no camp, wow. Shout out. Brian Redband says, Coach, did you watch Chandler's post-fight press conference saying he shouldn't have gone to the ground? I didn't watch all of it. I haven't had a chance. I will go back and watch. Probably should have watched it prior to the stream, but no. But thank you for giving me a heads up. And if he did say that, I was screaming that at the TV. I was screaming that. I couldn't understand why he felt like he needed to be in Oliveira's guard. Why didn't he stand up that fight? When in the first round, he blew so much time. It looked like he had a dazed guy. I mean, he was giving Oliveira time to recover almost. It was a gift. ASDAE says, Chandler looked prelim on the ground with Charles. What do you mean prelim? What do you mean by that? You mean he looked bad? That Schnell was a Walmart Cody. Yeah, he definitely had a lot of hype. Charlie whooped all the Stanford MMA guys. He's 4-0 against them. He's their daddy. Yeah, that's a weird situation when a guy has a group of people's number, almost like Dominic Cruz. Except for if it weren't for Cody Garbrandt, that would have been Dominic Cruz on Team Alpha Male. I mean, boy, Team Alpha Male is lucky that Cody Garbrandt won that fight, because to this day, Dominic Cruz would have been talking about how he owned that entire gym. But yes, we're definitely seeing that out of Charles Oliveira, which is interesting. I wish a reporter would ask a coach about that dynamic. Like, what do you do when you got a guy out there that just crushed all of your boys? Team Beta Male are on the juice. Hey, at 20, I'm not going to call them Beta Males, but I will say there seems to be an issue coming out of Team Alpha Male when it comes to those steroids. I mean, it just seems there's a lot of them that have had issues. I mean, you can say, is it a culture issue over there? Sean Soriano is back, so you can try to avenge Sanford's losses against Charles. Yeah, maybe he can do it. Trying to pull. Oh. Man, this guy is just touching me up. I feel like Okay. Trying to... You seen the Derek Lewis interview? Hilarious when they asked him about Caitlyn. I absolutely did see it. Derek Lewis is a gem. Derek Lewis is a gem, and the Caitlyn stuff was funny. My biggest takeaway from... It was like an 11-minute interview. ASD, I missed your comment. I'll read it in between this round. I'm sorry about that. But with Derek Lewis, I think that the best part about that was the fact that he really does not care. Like, this guy doesn't watch he really is not a fan of this. I already know, I've heard him say it before. Coach Soriano just lost. He has a long way to go to the champ. It was for laughs. Oh, okay. Greetings from Russia. Thank you for the laughs. I obviously missed what you were saying there. Fight night. Hey, UFC, fight. Greetings from Russia. Shout out to Russia. Kagdela. Kagdela. Prasiba. For making the stream. If you haven't had a chance, I can't read Russian, and I don't know anything. I've given you about 85% of my vocab. So I'm running out of steam here. Etemnia. I know that. Now I'm at 100. Etemnia. I think that means I got it. But shout out to you, my guy. We appreciate all voices in the stream. Oh, my. Coach, can you say Chinese fighters' names as good as you say Russian fighters' names? No way. I wish I could. I have no experience. I don't know any word in Chinese. I know how. Yeah, I really don't. I have no idea. Except for the ones that are, if it's written in English, obviously, and clearly, easily pronounceable, like phonetically, I can put things together. Why do you ask, Brian Redband? But thank you. I appreciate you thinking that I say names in Russian. Well, my favorite, as you know, is Pyotr. Pyotr. I think that should be said instead of Peter. No hao. Ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao means hi. Shen shen means thank you. Ni hao. Hi. Shen shen. Ni hao. Okay. I appreciate that. Ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao. Shen shen. Khabib ducked the submission bandits. He ducked Tony and Charles. I can't, people have been saying, oh, look what would have happened. I think DC even said, look what would have happened to Tony if Khabib would have fought him. And that's just not fair. That is not, the Tony that we're seeing now, that is not the same Tony that we were talking about fighting Khabib when the first through the third fights were arranged. At least. That wasn't the same guy. If somebody was in that Tony's guard, that fight would have been totally different. My biggest takeaway is that he mentioned that Francis has eyes on John when he should be focusing on him, which I agree with. Hey, that's a probably more relevant takeaway to the fight game. That's absolutely an excellent point. He should be focusing, and it sounds like, and Derek said that he was out of shape, 285. Derek looked like he was in pretty darn good shape. Coach, I thought you were like me and tried to learn to pronounce every fighter's name as they would pronounce it themselves. Okay, so Brian, oops, a little bit different for a second here. My microphone switched. I'll get back to it. So here's the thing. If I hear a fighter's name, I want to pronounce it the way it should be pronounced. But I'll give you credit. I do not go and find out the phonetic pronunciation of names when I find them difficult. Like that name, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, is how I would pronounce that. I haven't, and when I hear it, then I go back to saying it properly. ASD says, saying Khabib is scared is not that clever an assumption. Yes, Khabib is not scared. Suisun, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to your team, my man. Okay, Brian Redband says his last name is pronounced Rose in Stroke of a pen. Shout out to Brian Redband. Bless me with that knowledge, taking away the ignorance. Thank you for blessing me with that. And that is going to stick out. That correction, this moment is going to stick out in my mind about pronouncing people's names when I see them. Oh my God. Oh my God. He almost dropped me right there. Okay, Tom Kirky says, okay then, so why did Khabib retire as soon as all the big names in his division started to rise? Not to mention, he almost got Pyotr. Thank you for that, Marshall, as well. Pyotr. His dad died. Exactly. His dad died. And Tom Kirky, and his mom doesn't want him to fight. His mom said this was something between him and his father, and she wasn't comfortable with him moving forward with it without him. And, so I understand why he stopped. And I also think that his body was breaking down. It sounds like he fought injured a couple of times in a row, significantly injured. It might have been just perfect timing. And I'm glad he retired. I'm glad he couldn't get pulled back into the game. I'm glad GSP set that model for everybody, showed that there's a way. I mean, yeah, ASD says, really, Tom, all the fighters dominate, don't count? Yeah, I mean, he dominated Edson Barbosa, man. Hey, that's true, but if his mom... Hold on one second. I want to read this. I want this. I want all the conversations, but I definitely want to see what's going on here. His dad hold on. Let me get back to it. I'll be there in 1 minute. Try to read the chats that I can. This is a crazy fight right now. Ooh. Oh! Here we go. What happened? How'd he go? All right, I'm out. Tom's just saying BS. Oh, no, I didn't see the... Huddy, my guy, you shouldn't leave. Wow, I didn't know it was getting heated in the chat. I really had no idea. Got to pay closer attention, I suppose. But I also want this to be a place where everybody can say what you want. Express your opinion, Tom Kirky. Feel free to have a different opinion than everybody. So it's all bunch of bubble says Khabib never lost a round, never got cut. I don't know where you're getting at, man. Tom Kirky says Khabib is an animal, no doubt the king of lightweight. But there's a couple of guys I believe could have put up with Khabib. Pro fighter is scared, in quotations. Funny. Brian Redband says, I thought Eddie Alvarez could beat Khabib back in the day, but I was wrong. He would have never beat him. We make mistakes. Yes, I thought, I don't know that I thought anybody for sure was going to beat him, but I thought he was, for example, I thought the Conor fight was going to be difficult. A lot harder for him than we thought. But Khabib's the truth. Every fighter before fighting Khabib was the guy till he didn't. That's right. Except for like Al Iaquinta. Al wasn't that. Al kind of filled in. It's a late replacement, I think, for Tony Ferguson. At 20 says he thought Ortega would beat Max. See, yeah, no, I didn't. I did not think Ortega would beat Max. And by the way, speaking of that fight, has anybody seen that short clip of Max Holloway helping Brian Ortega during the fight? Like teaching Brian Ortega technique during that fight? I just saw it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, wow. Max Holloway that's as gangster as it's going to get. Yeah, Tom Kirky says Max teaching Ortega. I mean, I didn't even know he did that. I saw this clip, and I was like, yo, did he just give him a lesson on how to defend himself in the middle of a UFC fight? There's nothing worse to that. That's awful. Maybe there's one thing worse, and that was when Luke Rockhold was kissed by Romero after that fight. Brian Redman says, oh, Max is crazy. I'm not surprised. That's funny. ASD says Max knows his way to the belt. That is right. ASD, if anybody knows his way to the belt, I'm putting money on my guy Max Holloway becoming champion again. That's for sure. That guy is, he's a legend. Ortega, when he does a few lines, Snortega. Oh, my gosh. Shout out to Brian Ortega. Doing your thing out there. I'm still a fan. I like Brian Ortega. Hey, y'all might not like him, but I think Arnold wins another fight. He should be looking at Volkanovski. Why don't people like Alan Arnold? I liked him. I was impressed with him. I wasn't that familiar with him, but I'm impressed with his grit, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made his way to Volk. Not before Max. He won't get there before Max. If Max Holloway just sat down and waited, he'll get the next fight. Tom Kirky says because he's a clinch fighter, but I like it. Ain't he smashing Tracy Cortez? I actually don't know who Tracy Cortez is. Brian Redband says, I'd like to see Max again at 155, but getting a belt at 45. Not as interesting. Brian Redband, once again, we're on opposite sides of the spectrum. I don't want to see him fight a bigger person again. I feel like the difference in that Dustin Poirier fight was size. I feel like he's the more talented fighter. And you could argue almost, would it have been a crime if the judges would have given Max Holloway a nod for that in that fight? I don't think so. I don't think we're talking criminal decision. He did very well in that fight. And I do think size in that situation mattered. I want to see if Conor, if this were like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I'd want to see this Max fight the old Conor at featherweight. That's a fantasy fight we'll never get because I never want to see Conor fight at 45s. Ed 20 says Charles mentioned coming down to 45 potentially. He's champ material, and if the right fight is there at 170, he could be triple champ. Okay, let's wow. That is interesting. That view of him. ASD says, who's the best striker and who's the best boxer, Coach? Oh yeah, everybody should agree that Edson Barbosa is an animal, Tom Kirky. So do you mean who's the best striker in all of the UFC? I would say that's going to be Israel Adesanya, ASD. I mean, maybe you have somebody else. Maybe you have somebody else in mind, but I'm going to say Israel Adesanya is the best striker. And the best boxer? The best boxer? I don't know. But from what I've seen, it's Max Holloway. The best hands is Max Holloway. Welcome back, Huddy. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, I'm going to say Max Holloway has the best hands. I haven't seen anybody, or maybe you could make an argument for Joanna having better hands. I mean, but the level of competition that Max is fighting, it's different. He's doing different stuff. Striking coach got to be a Trevor Whitman Rose. Brian Redband says the best boxer is Holly Holm. That's probably he has data to back that up because Holly Holm is a decorated boxing champion. So you're probably right on that front. But when I just think, I don't know, my mind, that's actually, you're right. There is nothing else to be said. When it comes to boxing, I can't argue that because boxing is a different sport. ASD, to answer your question, Brian Redband actually correctly answered that. Because nobody else is as decorated a boxer that's in MMA and in the UFC or in the MMA period that's like Holly Holm. There is no other Holly Holm. So shout out to Brian Redband for the correction there. Israel Adesanya and then Holly Holm for sure. Ed 20 says, in terms of credential, Holly Holm, she's the only one that's only individual to win belts in multiple disciplines, and the heavyweight GOAT Stipe won the Golden Gloves. Yes, so Holly Holm is definitely the right answer. And a miss by me. There's a female boxer coming to MMA. She's as good as advertised. Yeah, you're talking about Clarissa Shields, I hope you're talking about. She has potential, man. She's going to be in the PFL very soon, which is I'm a little bit scared about. Dennis Pure! Welcome back to the stream. Welcome to the team, my man. I cannot believe we've been blessed with the one and only Dennis Pure, he's letting us all know today it is chicken dinner tonight, folks. We're not talking red pasta. We're not talking pork chops, not spaghetti. It's chicken dinner. Shout out to Dennis Pure. Out there in Florida, being a police officer, keeping the streets safe. Brian Redband, I love you. Ed 20 says, but don't compare. Don't compare. Let me see what you're saying here. In terms of credential, I didn't see what you said. Your comment guy. ASD said there's a female boxer coming. Yes. Valentina striking is amazing. Yes, it is. And Tony says Brendan Schaub also won Golden Gloves in Colorado. I didn't know that. I didn't know Brendan Schaub was a Golden Gloves champ. Jeez, Huddy, you have no brain cells if you think Joanna is the best striker in MMA. Joanna, Tom Kirky might have the best. She has excellent hands. When did I ever say Joanna is the best striker? Dennis Pure says, play Mortal Kombat 11. We will play Mortal Kombat 11 today, for sure. Tom Kirky, Schaub thinks Joanna has the best striking. Does she not have brain cells, too? Does he not have brain cells, too? All right, so here we go. Or we got a new subscriber, Oral Phallus, I think. Shout out the new subscriber, I think just hit, unless my notifications are deceiving me. We might have a new member of the team. Yeah, shout out to our newest member. I'm so glad I can see that now. I got a notification. Usually I can't see that. I appreciate you, my guy. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to your team. Yeah, what's with the brain cells? I don't understand this brain cells implication. Let's look for another opponent. Trying to get back to our winning ways. So I'm not seeing all. Dude must actually be slow. Tom Kirky, Schaub thinks it's getting personal in here. You guys should get into a match, have a fight, have a battle in UFC 4 instead of throwing stones at each other in the chat. But hey, I want you guys I want to hear your thoughts. So talk it out. Dennis Pure, thank you for the likes. Hey, shout out to everybody that's in here. If you hadn't had a chance to subscribe, please subscribe. The chat is the most important thing to me. Hit that like, hit your notification, and even if you don't want to participate, I have more fun interacting with everybody than I do playing this game, or any game, not just this game, all games. I'm here for the team. Oral Office, shout out. They're not deceiving you, my man. Good energy. Keep it going. Thank you. I appreciate you so much, my man. I appreciate you for showing up and showing out. And many blessings to you and all of your family. Tom Kirky says, Huddy, come on, what's the gamer tag? Oh, it's about to go down. Coach, did you see Barbosa leg splints though? Yeah, I did. That it's totally awful. It is totally. It was those leg kicks and the damage that he did to himself. It was wild. That Barbosa fight was one of the best fights. I was off the chair with excitement with that fight. I was just blown away with how great it was. Just blown away. And ASD says, Coach antagonizing. Why am I antagonizing? Why is that? 7 likes, thank you. Ed 20 says, Coach, who won the fight of the night and performance of the night bonuses? I don't know. Oh, I do know. I think Barbosa won one. Hold on. Let's see. Who won? Oh, we got a fight. We got a chat fight between Huddy and Tom Kirky going down right now. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Ed 20 says, that fight wasn't as explosive as I thought it, to be honest. Maybe I set the bar too high. What are you talking about? That was the fight of the night, Ed 20. That fight was amazing. Let me see the performance bonuses. Hold on. UFC 262 bonuses. We're going to see who got what. Bonus winners, yeah, went Charles Oliveira. So Charles Oliveira, Edson Barbosa, both won those. Wow, both won the 75,000. And yeah, that is crazy. That was beautiful, man. Yeah, and Edson, that was really cool. What up, Marquise Dash Tanner? Did they fix the glitches? Yeah. We got a chat that between Tom Kirky and Huddy. It's going down right now. Yeah, you guys got to tell who wins or update in between rounds who's winning the fight. All about your blah 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 says or don't, just have fun. I want to hear it. I want to know. We're getting a guy that's pressuring us. I love US. I'm glad you love it, my guy. Okay, we are getting it in. Air Laura putting pressure on us. Wow. Seeing a lot more Piotr Jans. Piotr. Okay. Air Laura putting pressure on your boy. Kanye West in Cody, Wyoming. Thank you, Dennis Poor, for letting us know where Kanye West resides. Okay, so here we go. Coach, did you see Oliveira's blood on Dana White's forehead when he was celebrating? No, I did not. I absolutely did not. But hey, you know what? I felt like his post-fight celebration, it wasn't as emotional or like as dramatic as Jose Aldo's with all the fans and all that, the flair. But it was awesome. It felt different, man. It was cool. It was a iconic type of celebration. The way he was doing high knees and talking to his boys. I really loved that. That was fun to watch, man. Yeah, blah blah says his celebration, Oliveira's celebration, got you emotional. Not gonna lie, yeah, I feel the same exact way, man. I really do. So here we go. And I think I saw a comment, somebody asking when we're gonna play Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is coming up. We're gonna get a couple more fights in. I feel like I haven't played this game in a while. And I feel rusty. Commissioner chasing him down. Yeah, that was awesome. Commissioner saying, get back in the ring, but he did his thing, man. I was like, let the man just celebrate. And they kind of did. They let him hug it out, celebrate. Charles Oliveira's only 31, Ed 20 says. So here's the thing. There are two factors at 20. There is your chronological age. But there's also your age in fighting, how long you've been fighting. That was he's been around. You might see him peter out in his mid-30s or, in a couple years. Who knows? He's been around for a while. He's been through it. Brian Redband asked, Coach, did you know about Chandler before he was in the UFC? Were you a fan? I absolutely knew about Chandler. Chandler, and if I'm not mistaken, Eddie Alvarez, their battles. And he's had Chandler, if there was a fight in Bellator, not just Eddie Alvarez, Patrice, the Pitbull brother situation. If there were fights that I was watching in Bellator, oftentimes, Brett Primus, that fight, I was watching it. Chandler was drawing me into Bellator, for sure. I saw the Will Brooks fight. So yeah, I think I've seen most of Chandler's Bellator Strikeforce fights. Yes, I was definitely aware. Come on, Coach. He was the kid and fought Prime Cub. He's been in a Shark Tank for decades. Look at his record. Absolutely. Are you talking about Oliveira? Oliveira's been in a Shark Tank. Absolutely. That's who you're talking about. Michael Chandler has too, frankly. I'm not a subscriber that the only good fighters are in the UFC. I think Bellator has A1 fighters. I think the light heavyweight champion, which his name eludes me, as many do. From what I've seen, he has a skill set. He could easily be in the UFC. Easily be a top contender, especially in the condition that we find the light heavyweight division right now. He could be a contender. Dennis Poor says Ronda Rousey is sexy. Yeah, Dennis Poor, I've never seen Ronda Rousey. I don't know. She just doesn't, I don't know. She just doesn't come off. I always find it awkward. Like when she did the Sports Illustrated photo shoot, she just looks uncomfortable to me. It's not a, I don't know. Magomed from Bellator is good. Patricio as well, yeah. Patricio could make it in the UFC. They're guys that just, didn't cut over. But there is something to be said because the pool. Oh no! This guy is just putting crazy pressure on me. Oh my goodness. Ooh. So it looks like Huddy won round 1 of the Tom Kirky versus Huddy fight. Oh, Laura quit after getting a knockdown, almost winning that fight. She was about to get submitted, and we went ahead and eked out that victory. Shout out to Laura. I know why you quit. Oh, Dennis Pierce says, Big Boss Man in WWF. You like him, Coach. I'm sorry I missed that. I saw you say that before, and I think I was talking. Dennis Poor, no. I was not a big fan of the Big Boss Man. ASD says, famous rear naked choke. Yes, the famous overpowered rear naked choke. I do understand why Laura decided to back away. So let's run another one. Let's get another one in. I know we are going to switch over to Mortal Kombat here. Suicide says ASD. It is very strong. Yeah, it's overpowered. The rear naked choke got way too much. I'm not. There should be a pun. I get the logic. So what they're saying is, with the rear naked choke, is if you get to a position where somebody gets your back and someone sinks in a rear naked choke, it should be very difficult for you to get out of it. And I would agree. If a high level person gets your back, a high level jiu-jitsu, a guy with a high submission rating does that, it should be very hard. But not every single person should have that capability. Brian Redband asks, Coach, do you like Miesha Tate or not really? I absolutely love Miesha Tate. I'm excited for her return. I'm glad that she's taking her time and ensuring that she's healthy and like getting in shape first and then getting like she's not. It doesn't sound like she's necessary. Well, I mean, it sounds like she's been working on it. And I'm there. I will be in the front row watching Miesha Tate come back. I feel like she's a legend of the sport. I feel like she is a legend. Coach, I'd rather watch Askren strike right now. Where's the offense? Look, we almost finished it, my guy. At 20, that's a fair criticism. But look at what we've done. We finished these fights. ASD says, agreed, Coach. But your criticism is fair, Ed, and I take it. ASD says that, yeah, we agree. Yeah, I see that. It's I think you're agreeing about the rear naked choke. It should be very hard. Like if Derek Lewis gets your back and it's a rear naked choke he puts on, it should be pretty, not easy, but reasonable. Hey, if you have whoever, Fabricio Verdum gets your back, and yeah, it should be very difficult. It should be like it is right now to get out. And also, it seems like stamina doesn't matter. You can have very low stamina. Tom Kirky says Huddy won the second round. And by the way, Tom Kirky, we all lose fights. No matter who wins the fight, the next time you guys fight, you could win. A month from now, things change. So don't put too much weight on it. It is just all for fun. Dennis Pierce says, do I like Bret Hart? Yes, I do like Bret Hart. I used to wish Bret Hart would give me those glasses after he walked down the aisle. Susan points out the back take is too easy. Yeah, it is way too easy to get to the back. There are too many ways to get to the rear naked choke. There are too many ways. It's too short of denial windows to do it. It's just insane. The setup of this game, the controls, fundamentally the problem are these controls are so convoluted. And they're convoluted just standard, just like stand up on the ground, on the whatever, but they're also like positionally they'll change. There are some times where punch buttons are kick buttons. Now we're getting into like quantum gaming at this point, right? Where, the state of a button depends on the situation, in the situation in which you're looking at it. Tom Kirky says, Huddy just won. Shout out to both guys getting it in. That's how you settle it. Get in there. Get in that octagon virtually and fight it out if you got some beef. Shout out to both you guys. Congratulations to Huddy, but shout out to both of you guys throwing hands to squash the back and forth. Good job. So here we go. Tom getting worked by the guy Huddy. ASD went and got some salt and looked for some wounds. Here we go, Coach. Definitely a catfish. He definitely 5'3". 5'3". Nothing wrong with being 5'3", but no, my man, I am not 5'3". Tom Kirk says, nah, man, don't get it twisted. It was bantamweight, which was whack, but if he wants to run middleweight, let's go. Hey, there you go. That's the spirit. That's the spirit of the fight game. That was a guy named WRDMTL. His connection is just awful. Ed 20 says, you heard about Dana running through the female divisions. He got real. He says, Ed 20 says, you heard about Dana running through the female divisions. He the real GOAT. I did not hear about that, Ed 20. I've heard rumors, but I've never heard that confirmed. Sounds like 6'2", 230 pounds. Wow, ASD, that's amazing. Stop it. I wobbled you about 15 times, but Huddy won't. Okay. Hey, you guys got to settle it. It's beef you got to settle. Just waiting for WRDMT. Get out of the search queue because that guy's connection is a nightmare. Huddy not letting Tom Kirky move out. Oh, Tom Kirky called for best of 3. Tom Kirky says coach is 6'3", 6 foot and 3 inches. That's 2 separate measurements. We have grammar police in the building. But my God, my boy Tony with that knee bar, the knee bar was hard to watch too. The Jacare getting his arm broken was super difficult to watch. It was disgusting hearing that dull thud, that thud that's muffled by Jacare's muscle and flesh. That was hard to listen to. But it was also hard to watch Tony yell and that knee bar get put into place. That was just awful. I really was. It was just like, that was just terrible. Ed 20 says, Coach didn't get it. I didn't. What did I miss? You snuck one by me, Ed. Brian Redman says, Ed 20, there was that one time that White let Cynthia Calvillo ride his private jet. She hugged him behind his back during an interview after hours, after she had won her debut. What? I need to see this. I had no idea Dana was doing this. Jacare should take Tony and leave. If Dana White is really out here sleeping with the female fighters, that is crazy. That is crazy. I don't know why that feels crazy, but Like, that is, that I can't even, my brain, maybe I just have this, like, preschool view of the world. At 20, alluding to the size of Dana White's genitals, speculating, I should say, on the size of Dana White's genitals. I don't know where that came from. ASD says Cavillo looks fire.
You ready?
Brian Redband says when Cavillo was fought Pearl Gonzalez, look at the videos from that week. Cynthia talks about it. My goodness. ASD sees nothing wrong with it. I do. I think there's a conflict of interest. I don't want that. Dana's really the MMA GOAT. He got the most finishes. If that's true, I mean, clearly he does. Let's just say Cavillo isn't riding that private jet anymore. I bet not. She was never going to ride the private jet for that long. That wasn't going to last. If that's true. Yeah, ASD, Harvey Weinstein. Absolutely. That's Harvey Weinstein. Thank you, ASD. Welcome. Oh, shout out to ASD. That is Harvey Weinstein-esque. If Dana White is out there sleeping with these contractors, that's just crazy. I mean, especially when these guys are like fighting their tail off. ASD says she's not a 5-rounder. No, sir. My goodness. Dana White's living his best life. Dana White found a genie. I'm convinced that Dana White found a genie and made a wish that he could be the best, and got a wish to wish for anything on earth, and wish that he could be the best at the, be the owner of this fight promotion, president of this fight promotion that would take over the world. And I mean, that his life is just going on the outside so swimmingly. Who would have thought this would be the UFC? Weekly fights on ESPN, on ABC, regular TV. The sport is growing. Dana had rich friends. It happens sometimes. That's true. Yes. That is very true. Dana White's story seems very interesting. Like, Las Vegas is a crazy place, and he was just in the Las Vegas culture for sure. At 20 says Dana is probably swimming in women. Let's keep it real. He probably is. I mean, I don't know. Mr. Spyro, who we met in Mortal Kombat 11, welcome back to the stream, my guy. I appreciate you showing up. We're running some UFC. This is what I normally play, is UFC 4. But I am going to be streaming Mortal Kombat today, my friend. We're going to be streaming Mortal Kombat after this, actually shortly. We've been getting it in here for a little while. Probably do one more fight after this, and then switch it over to Mortal Kombat for a bit. But Spyro, I appreciate you being here, man. We're talking about UFC 262, which happened last night. Oh my goodness. Woo! UFC 262 went down last night. It was dramatic. I don't know if you watched, Mr. Spyro, but it was awesome. Juice Dana is scary looking, ASD says. Yeah, man, it's crazy. You can tell when Dana starts hitting the weights. You can tell when he's cycling on, because I don't know what he goes through his life. If he just gets depressed or what, but a couple times a year he'll just get out of shape. You'll see it. You can see he just goes back to his normal self, and then something happens. He's like, let me get back on these roids, and he just gets yoked. Starts looking like, he's lifting like these world strongmen type guys. Looking way bigger than some of the fighters. Shout out to Marshall Mine, by the way. Putting out some good videos, good content. Getting in right away with a Charles Oliveira video, if you haven't seen it. Fighting Scrap Chai. Oh, my goodness. ASD says that's why Ngannou took the Lewis fight. Wait, why? Didn't want to deal with the guns. Oh. You're saying Ngannou ducked John Jones. Oh, no. My goodness. Hold on. I'll be right there. Susan says, are all you streamers working together? No. Why do you, Susan, why do you ask? No, absolutely not. Maybe you're saying that because you see some people from Crooks' stream in here, but Crooks has just randomly been nice to me, and he had suggested people come by here and met some cool people from his stream. But no, I do not have any personal relationship with any other streamers. Not that I'm against it, but I'm not, I'm working to get to their level. I just started streaming a couple of months ago. Coach, could you pick fun fighters and use them instead of all the crotch sniffers? Hey, I appreciate the feedback, and I will do that. I will do that. It's just very hard to be competitive in this division at 20 when you have an underpowered fighter, or you try to fight Sim, for example. At least for me. I haven't developed that skill set. But we're getting better, man. I'm trying to. I'm working on it at 20. So here we go. Oh, whoa! It's a wrap! Put him down. That's another one that we finished. That's 2 finishes in a row, Dennis. I mean, my goodness. We did it up. So here we go. Got another finish in there. We stopped the one and only GSP coach on the anchovies today. Finally got a finish. I got a finish before. I almost submitted the guy. He quit. Coach on those anchovies. You know I love my anchovies, my man. So here we go. We're going to enter the final UFC 4 fight of the stream. Then we're going to switch it on over to Mortal Kombat. Get it in over there in the Nether Realm. Have some Sunday fun day. And I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope you're having fun. Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you for being on the team. Let's get it in. Let's look at the fight history. We have 2 of our last 8 fights are losses. Only 3 of them have ended in decision. Otherwise, KOs, decisions are finished. Okay, so ASD says, what do you think the next fight for Beneil and Chandler? Beneil and Chandler. For Beneil, it's got to be a top. I mean, you have to. So many eyes were on Tony in the MMA world. And I mean, this fight might not have pierced the bubble into the mainstream, but it was a big fight. There were a lot of eyes on it. Beneil stopped Tony. You got to give him. If it's not, I agree with what Beneil says. Here's the thing: Beneil is having a kid, but he can't fight soon. So this victory, the heat will wear off. And so that's unfortunate for Beneil. Right now, I would say he should fight a top 3 guy. But by the time he gets back after his daughter's born, he's going to spend some time with his family, he says. He might not be back until 2022, the beginning of 2022. This fight will be in MMA's back burner. It won't be top of mind anymore. So most likely, if he were to fight before the end of summer, he should fight top 3, top 2 fighter, championship contender fight. But with his next fight not happening for, up until maybe December or next year, I would say top 5, top 6 contender again. An exciting fight, big name, but you can't put him, he's going to cool off. It just is what it is. The way Dana and the UFC's running the sport. You can't come off of this type of victory. It's not a knockout. It's a decision. And, you know, it's difficult for Beneil. When you have that type of fight and you're not prepared to keep going again, that's the hard part about taking a win that way. But shout out to him for winning. Yeah, Justin have to fight at 20. Justin has to get out there and fight. Justin has to fight somebody. Justin should want to fight anybody. Oh, Tom Kirky says he won second round knockout. Told you, Huddy. Yeah, he got the win, so he pulled it off. Brian Redband says, I don't want to see Hooker be in such a brutal fight so soon. I don't want to see that. Anybody on PS4? Suicin's looking for a fight. Anybody on PS4 looking for a fight with Suicin? Shout out to him. We know Tom Kirky and Huddy are getting at it, so maybe one of you can fight Suicin, who is very good. We are just waiting to have our final fight of the stream. And it is of the UFC stream. We are, of course, hopping over to Mortal Kombat, where I am absolutely a noob. But we are going to try to get some fatalities going, folks. How many times did I rock you? Stop talking. Oh, they're going at it. Unable to find opponent. Jeez. EA, bring it. Let's see what's going on. Suicin, isn't Coach on PlayStation? I am on PlayStation, Suicin. Suicin and I have battled each other before. I want to get one more ranked fight in before I go over to Mortal Kombat, though. I do want to get a ranked fight in. I'm trying to move myself up. I will, Suicin. If you want to fight, or not fight, spar at the opening of tomorrow's stream. Be here tomorrow at probably 5 or 5:15. I'll send out a tweet. I'm going to learn how to use notifications, pre-notifications on YouTube to let more people know that we're going live. And you are more than welcome to warm me up at the beginning of the stream. So let's get it in. I want to try to find a ranked fight. How do you say night? Oh my god! So you guys got it. You guys have to go. ASD says best of 3 talk after that match. Yeah, it's definitely best of 3. You guys went back and forth. You got to run best of 3. You can't both have a victory over each other and leave it like that. The final fight's got to go down. What is going on with the matchmaking today? I want to find some competition out here. Try to climb up the ranks again here. We're Division 20. Let's see where we're actually at. Give the queue a little bit of time. I'm going to back out. Go back in. Give it a little time. Give it a second. Let's see where we're at on the leaderboards, actually. So we're 170th in the world. In North America, we are 76th in North America. I don't think that's that bad of one. Ed 20 says, you're more than welcome to warm me up. I don't think that's that bad. You can put that in the out-of-context coach. That one won't get me in any HR trouble, as almost all of the rest would. Dennis Poor says, Huddy and Tom are fighting, I think, Coach. They are. They're going back and forth, though, Dennis Poor. They're having words, but they're going to cool it off. They're fighting each other in UFC 4. And that is... What's a reach, Suicin? What's reaching? What is reaching? I want to hear that. I want to hear, what do you mean that's reaching? So here we go. We are looking for I don't understand what is going on. So here we go. Why are we not able to find a fight? All right, so it looks like we're not going to be able to find another ranked fight. Susan, do you wanna spar? Do you wanna get one in? Because you are very good, my man. You almost beat me last time. And I need to get back. I feel like I haven't been playing this game a lot. Coach, where do you read most of your MMA news? ESPN, MMA Junkie. So I get most of it from Twitter, but I'm not checking my Twitter all as much as I need to. I need to get back into always being in my Twitter. But yes, I usually hit MMA Junkie, MMA Fighting every now and again, a lot less. I don't go to MMA Fighting that frequently. Yes, ESPN. That's pretty much it. I thought there was another place. That really is. I basically am looking on, getting it from Twitter or one of those sources. That's what I'm checking. I feel like there's somewhere else that I get my MMA news from. Let me actually see here. Quickly check my Twitter. And Suicide, I don't know if you are here and wanted to take me up on that offer. If not, that's fine. So here we go. Adam says, I subscribed to your channel and gave you a like. I'm waiting for the same. Come to me. Open for music and greetings, Adam. Okay, Adam. There we go. I just did it. Shout out to Adam, a new member of the team, new member of the stream. So I go to all those places, and James Lunch, who works for... Wait. Brian Redband says, I go to all those places, and James Lunch, who works for 12 mini outlets. James Lynch. I wish I understood what you were saying there, Brian Redband. Susan says he's in a match. Okay. So here's the thing. So here's what we'll do. I do feel like just getting at least one more fight in. Let's just have a fun fight. It's been a long time to just be sitting here staring at a load screen. So we're just going to go into quick fight here and end the stream with a fun fight. Coach, you skipped leg day again. No, we're not. Oh, gay. Did I make a gay comment? No, I don't think so. Maybe somebody else did. I just didn't see it. So here we go. We're gonna go find anybody in any round. Never. No, leg day was actually Ed. Leg day was literally on Friday. It was crazy. Yeah, Ed. I will pick a different guy. A different fighter. Unranked, you're gonna see the same fighters, man. You're going to, because I can't. You will lose if you try to get creative out there against the sharks that you bump into. Ooh, I haven't gotten to be. This would be a fun fight. I think this would be a fun fight. If Paul Felder somehow were to be a late replacement in a Jorge Masvidal fight, that would be a blast. Oh my God. Paul Felder's, Paul Felder, I've seen him fight live. The guy is a monster. It's just insane. So here we go. A little bit of lag here. A lot of bit of lag. Good luck in the fight. Thank you, Dennis Poor. I appreciate the luck, Dennis, for sending me good luck for this fight. I am Paul Felder. Trying to give Ed 20 what he wants. Exciting, different fighter fight, of course. And I understand that. I actually respect where you're coming from. I feel like it's a problem with this game. It just feels like you have to, in ranked with the stuff that you're up against, you have to go with certain fighters. For people like me, I'm sure if you're Romero, Pry, Marshall, these guys are probably able to do very well on ranked without Crooks, without that type of those type of fighters. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can get the win. Of all the exciting fighters, you could have picked Felder. That's like going to McDonald's and getting a water instead of a McFlurry. Oh, come on. Paul Felder has been in a lot of classic wars, my man. Paul Felder is a fun guy to watch fight. Tom Kirky knocked out Huddy in the second. Wow, that was a turn of events. Shout out to Tom Kirky and Huddy for getting it. Lagging and won't let me defend myself. This dude's a bum. Oh. Well, you guys settled it like men. You went at it. You handled the beef. Hopefully all that is over. Dap it up. Oh. Oh, God. Oh. This guy's... Oh. Here we go. Trying to warm it up. Got to watch my stamina. Got to watch that stamina. Dennis Poor says, hope Coach wins this fight. Thank you, Dennis Poor. Shout out to you. I hope you're enjoying your food. Coach, do you use UFC Fight Pass at all? I used to, but I canceled my subscription. No. Yeah, Brian Redband, I'm not surprised that you canceled it. I don't understand its purpose. I understand having access to older UFC fights, but I'm not going to pay another $10 a month or whatever it is to do that. Not when there's ESPN Plus. Then you have to buy the pay-per-views, and then you got to do this. And I mean, I understand they do different things on there, and you have access to like jiu-jitsu competition and other organizations, but it's just I'm not that type of fan. I'm not going to be in there watching that. So no. But what made you cancel your subscription? Dude's got McDonald's Wi-Fi in his trailer. Oh man, you guys are going at it. Here we go. Fight Pass is a library for older MMA. I thought Fight Pass, you not only got the, like I said, the older fights, but you also can watch I thought Submission Underground or different organizations like Invicta. Doesn't Invicta have a deal where they're being shown on Fight Pass? Or certain organizations that have their fights streamed on Fight Pass? Brian Revin says he canceled in 2019. Yeah, that sounds about right, man. I don't even understand how Fight Pass exists. I wish they could integrate, that library into the ESPN deal. But I understand, that would be probably very expensive for ESPN. Invicta is on Access TV. They left Fight Pass. Oh, wow. Okay, back to Access. There's not a great history on Access, for success at least, for MMA organizations. If I'm not mistaken, WEC was on Access maybe for a while. They used to have some good shows. I used to like watching oh, this guy gave up. In any case, that's all right. We at least we didn't put up a loss on today's stream at 20. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my man. I will do much better. I'm going to try to get better at counter-striking, Ed, so I can give you those knockouts that you need. Not too much laying down. I appreciate the feedback, my guy. You all, we are coming back with very soon, within 15 minutes probably, with some Mortal Kombat 11 he gave up because you wrestled. I didn't even Ed 26. He gave up because I wrestled. It was automatic, Ed. I think I was talking and I took him down. I didn't even mean. I wasn't even thinking about it. But I will do better for you, Ed. You are on my top of mind, Ed, for giving you more exciting fights. Ed Brian Redband said RFA was on Access TV and they don't exist anymore. Yeah, RFA, that was Anderson Silva's. Wasn't it Anderson Silva's manager had a heavy hand in that? And I think he now is involved with LFA, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not familiar with the ongoings of either, but I love the fact that there's an economy of lower tier organizations out there that are helping the young guys come up and get better before they hit the UFC. That makes the UFC better. The more organizations out there, the better the UFC, the guys that hit the UFC are. So shout out to them. Shout out to you for being here. We'll be back very soon with another Surviving the Netherrealm episode. I think that's episode 9 of Surviving the Netherrealm. That's coming up in 15 minutes or so. But you guys know what's coming up next. Because I know what's coming up next. I'm going to catch you on the flip side. Peace. I'm out.